Kenya's Deputy President William Ruto has announced his withdrawal from the presidential debate in the country due to what he has termed a partisan media environment that has contravened the fairness in coverage. Now, these follows even as Ruto raised concerns that nearly a million voters of his strongholds were removed from the register. Ruto, one of the frontrunners of the nation's August polls, now calls for fair playing ground after the conclusion of voter verification exercise in the country. For more on this, let's now join our East Africa correspondent, Abdinoor Aden. Good morning, Abdinoor. Thank you very much for joining us.
Good morning. Good morning. I'm glad to join you on this Friday morning. I hope you had a great evening.
Absolutely, we did. So, Abdul, let's get straight into this one. What is this story making the rounds? We first of all saw it in the newspaper where someone has come out to say, listen, my votes or where I have my stronghold have definitely been removed from the list. And now we also have another one, the Deputy President lamenting that there are indeed poll malpractices. Now, bring us up to speed on what's really going on.
Indeed, it has been, they say a week is a very long period in politics, and we've had a lot of changes this week where we had, first of all, the Deputy President made headlines when he was snubbed by President Uhuru Kenyatta, and the President skipped the protocol during the Madaraka Day celebrations. And yesterday, we had a meeting where the Deputy President hosted ambassadors from European countries where he raised concerns about voter irregularities even before the elections, following the conclusion of the voter verification exercises on 2nd June.
All right, Abdinoor, lead us through what the practice is typically in your country. Tell us, how is voter exercises being carried out? Are there constant allegations of election malpractice, or is this a one-off?
We've had different political groupings making allegations concerning the credibility of the election process itself. But to bring you up to speed with the progress made so far in the country's election preparation stages, as we speak, there is the nomination, confirmation of candidates, the verification of candidates themselves, and the completion of the nomination process for various contestants. And we've also had the conclusion of the voter verification exercise where a voter was able to know whether the details they had given during the registration to take part in the elections indeed reflected correctly. So we expect in the coming few days, presidential candidates and gubernatorial candidates, MPs, senators, women MPs to be cleared to vie for the election. So the Deputy President indeed raised concerns similar to those in the previous elections, 2017, were raised by Raila Odinga. And those are some of the issues he raised, including the removal of nearly a million voters of his strongholds from the voter register and the participation of government public officials in the campaigns. He mentioned the ICT minister for, showing partisanship.
All right, so Abdul, do you think this claim or this removal, which indeed is posing a big problem, especially for the aspirants, do you think it will have any effect on the elections?
Knowing that the Deputy President is one of the strong candidates vying for the presidency position, and having been the running mate of Uhuru Kenyatta in 2013 and 2017, where they successfully won the elections, those allegations coming from him indeed command a lot of attention. And it's not only related to the voter, he's also raised concerns about the media partisanship, which he says does not reflect well about the respect of the code of ethics of the media in the country. And he also announced he won't be taking part in the presidential debates, and that indeed elicited massive reactions from across the nation. And of course, his biggest strong bases, which he usually commands, such as the central part of the country, the Rift Valley, and some other parts of the region.
We see that the Ruto has said that he's withdrawing from the presidential debate. How much importance is attached to the presidential debate in your country?
Well, indeed, we know that Raila Odinga and William Ruto are the leading contenders for the presidency. And even though there are dozens of presidential candidates, Kenyans are only waiting to hear from what those two or how those two will exchange on the podium for the debates. But then again, the withdrawal of Ruto is a big blow because there is expected to be various contentious issues regarding corruption, regarding matters related to land, governance and administration, and many things which Kenyans expected or were waiting to see exchanges between William Ruto and Raila Odinga. Now removing a key candidate from the calculation or from the equation lowers the hype and really overshadows everything, and it's a big blow. It's a big blow, and I think as we speak already there are efforts to try and address the issues the Deputy President raised, and we expect the editors, Kenya Editors Guild, the Media Council of Kenya, and various media related oversight bodies and institutions to try and find a solution, since they do not take his allegations very lightly.
All right. Abdinot Aden, let's leave the political scene now. Let's take a look at one of the big stories that definitely has gotten myself and Olive, and I'm sure others, talking on the front page of Daily Nation. Hopefully we can get that on the screen as well. Now, he talked about single parents as well, away from the elections now. Talking about a survey that was made, it talks about 40%, that's 4 in 10, of 40% of all about single parenthood. It also makes mention that the average Kenyan woman has a 59.5% likelihood of being single by the time she is 45. How true is this, Abdinot?
Well, of course, when you find it making its way, even though I'm not getting us back to the politics we just left, but of course, if you look at the campaign, promises, pledges being made by various contestants, they've actually been speaking about providing support to single mothers, raising also, the fact that the country cannot survive when, we have many single parents who are really trying their best to lead their families and ensure their children succeed in life. Therefore, this is indeed a matter that is currently a hot issue in the country, and we've had many organizations and many bodies coming forward to try and seek the government's support to try and create a strategy, because we've also had a report about the divorce rates in the country a few weeks ago, if not days, where we had Nairobi being mentioned as the leading in the high number of divorce cases. We've also had during the COVID-19 pandemic, where many areas reported sexual related abuses, a matter which was also condemned by various institutions and government bodies. We've also had cases of teenage pregnancies. So there are many issues that are underlying issues relating to this single parenthood, and making it indeed a matter that cannot be ignored at the moment.
I remember this so well when we talked about parenting, especially during the pandemic, and the stories that emanated from Zimbabwe, from Zambia, and also you were here, of course, in the morning when we talked about this on Breakfast Central, especially the single parenthood, where there was a lot of domestic violence, and we did even have a package on that, if I do recall. Well, I think on that note, Olive will agree that your time here is done, Abdinot Aden.
Absolutely. Thank you very much, Abdinot, for joining us. We look forward to having you again, and hopefully the matter would have been resolved with William Ruto, and would have had the debate, because it'd been lovely to see how the debate plays out, and getting reports from you as well. But quick one before I let you go. In many countries, for example, here in Nigeria, there's pushing for a third force. We have the APC and the PDP candidates, or the APC candidates will be announced shortly, and we're seeing that there is a push for a third force. Now, you've mentioned that there are two main parties in Kenya. Are the people of Kenya pleased with this? Or is there also a move for a third force coming up shortly?
Unfortunately, this time we do not have a third force. We have a third block because the former Vice President Kalonzo Musyoka belongs to the Azimio. Many candidates have joined the Azimio for Raila Odinga. So initially, we know Raila Odinga used to say, we only have 2 horses in the race, the rest are donkeys. So I think it still plays out in this year's elections. So unfortunately, we don't have a third party. Thank you.
All right. We'll definitely see how this, rolls out. I would love to have you. We would definitely have you back again joining us. Thank you very much, Abdul Aden. All right, let's move over from Kenya. All right, enjoy the rest of your weekend.